So yesterday we talked about Galaxy Shuttle, the latest addition to the Transformers Velocitron Speedia 500 collection, Wave 2 of what we're going to be getting from that from Walmart. But we didn't make that connection that this was from the Walmart's internal archives of their stock photos. There was clearly some other stuff that was going to be revealed. And today is Walmart CollectorCon, where they reveal a whole bunch of exclusives to their store across all the different brands. And, well, there was even more shown today. So let's talk about that. Let's break down what we're looking at, how it's different from what we got before, the little Easter eggs. That's why you're here to listen to this podcast, because you know I'm going to make sense of things for you. Let's jump into it. So outside of the stuff that we already knew about, we already talked about Crasher, we already talked about Shadow Strip, we already talked about the Voyager class Hot Rod and toy colors, and we already talked about the Galaxy Shuttle. So the new additions that they have here go outside of the Velocitron Speedia 500 collection, their other Walmart exclusive line, that of G1 Vintage reissues. And what they did this time around is yet again a celebration of the 86 movie, and it's two reissues of two molds we've already gotten from this recent G1 Walmart reissue line, and it's that of a Starscream and my boy Hot Rod. So we're going to make sense of what these color schemes are, how they're being distributed, what you get, and just everything that's happening. So we'll start with Starscream. Now, when I first saw this image, I was like, ooh, this just looks like a one-for-one repackage and pretty much taking that old Takara book box 2003 G1 collection number 9, as I call it, because that was Starscream's number in it, and just putting it into this new packaging, this new closed box kind of packaging. But now when I look at it carefully, there's a lot of different things going on here. The original Takara book box went for that more show-accurate kind of light blues. It was the one that actually was the first one to include that Megatron gun accessory, as well as the new sculpted hand for it. But there's a lot going on here that's different. The first thing, and this goes on with the Hot Rod too, is there's no more stickers. There's no more G1 stickers. Everything is tampographs. Everything is painted on. Stickers are out. So that's the first thing we have to take away from it. Second thing is this is still using that USA Safety Standards G1 sculpt of Starscream with those extras that came with the 2003 book box reissue. So it's still going to have those new sculpted null ray kind of missiles going on there. It's going to have that that Megatron gun that came from the Japanese reissue. But what's odd about it, and I was reading in the product description, it just says the two null ray missiles and the Megatron gun. There's no mention of the bomber missiles that he normally always comes with. And I was like, that's weird. Why wouldn't they mention that? And when you look on the back of the packaging, you do see the bomber missiles attached to the plane mode, but they're the bomber missiles from the pre-safety standards version, which were much shorter and everything. Like there's a very big difference between those two. So I don't know what's going on there. That's very weird. Very weird. I don't know. Like as it stands right now, I think you're just getting the null rays and the Megatron gun. It's weird because the bomber missiles are part of the mold, so for them to manufacture the reissue and throw out those missiles, I don't know. I think they're going to be there. I think it's going to be the long missiles. I just think that the photography is weird. They're using the wrong thing, and the product description on Walmart's website is lacking that too. So whatever's going on there is weird. Let's talk about the figure itself. So what they're doing is everything is painted now, so you don't have the chrome stickers. You're not going to have stickers on the feet. You're not going to have the stickers on the shoulders. You're not going to have the stickers on the chest. Everything is painted. So pretty much in terms of the paint is we have a brand new face that's painted more, like I guess we'll call it screen accurate gray with the red eyes as opposed to the black paint on the head sculpt itself and the gray on the side of the nose cone head, if you will, or whatever would make his face in a lot of ways, his vents. So you don't have the yellow chrome sticker that normally would go across. A very cool show accurate Starscream, probably in my humble opinion, probably the most show accurate Generation 1 1984 Starscream sculpt up to this point. So it's probably the best version. Up to that point, in my opinion, it was that Takara book box reissue using that sculpt, but this one looks pretty good. Again, has the Megatron gun, so it's going to have that unique sculpted right hand that has the little hilt kind of hanging out of the bottom. So it's all of that thing going on. Not much really else I could say about it. It's just it's something that looks really good. And it's kind of just using, that slow progression of making that 84 Starscream mold as close as it could be, again, to its accurate show counterpart. And this is just one more step closer to that after many years of, oh, here's this. It's going to give the gun. It's going to do this through all the different reissues. So this one's pretty good. Now let's talk about price, because here's where things are also interesting. So the price is going to be $33.97. And it's interesting because that's the pre-order price. That's probably what the MSRP is going to be. Originally, when we had this reissue in 2018, because we did get this reissued before, pretty much the exact same product, just different paint scheme, and assumably going to have those missiles, the little bomb missiles. Originally, when we had this in stores at Walmart in 2018, it was $34.97. So it was actually $1 more. So that's interesting in our post-inflation world that we live in today, that Hasbro's actually releasing this product for $1 less. Is it because it doesn't have the window now and the plastic for the window? It's in a closed box. Could that be the reason? Is Hasbro actually sharing the savings onto the consumer? I pretty much doubt that. But, I mean, that is interesting. But I think I see how they balance this out afterwards, and we'll get into that with the Hot Rod. Now, the pre-order release date for this is January 13th, 2023. Should be sure to check that out. We also got to see the box art, so it's a closed box design, so you don't actually get to see the product, but not really big surprises there. Box art by Marcelo again. It's Starscream on the attack on Autobot City, so nice little touch to that, homaging the 86 movie with that Transformers the movie hanger tab and everything. The packaging bio and tech spec on the back is the shortened ones that they do now. It's a new kind of bio, the way they wrote it. And of course, it has only 4 of the tech spec readouts of strength, intelligence, speed, and firepower. So it's a modernized version, slimmed down, air commander, yada, yada, yada. Let's get into my boy Hot Rod here, because there's a lot to discuss. First thing when I saw it, I was like, oh man, they're doing an homage to the prototype test shot Hot Rod colors that were featured in all those catalogs throughout the years, combined with the fact that it's also supposed to be, I guess we'll call it screen accurate Hot Rod with that more magenta pink, if you will. But there's a lot of differences from that old 2018 reissue that we got from Walmart just not too long ago. So we'll just do this from top to bottom from the robot mode. There's a lot going on here. Obviously, there's no new accessories, no new sculpts, really, although I will mention which sculpt this does use, because Hot Rod did have variations throughout the year since 1986. So, first of all, again, like before, it's all tempo. No chrome stickers, no nothing. If you got that 2018 Hot Rod, he had chrome stickers and everything going on there. So this is all paint, all tempo. Again, the face more or less looks the same. All the reddish, dark maroon that he originally had is now that pink hue. And when we go down to the chest area, the chest is that new flame deco kind of design, the 3-prong flames, as opposed to the 10-prong flames. 10-prong flames is toy accurate. 3-prong flames is show accurate. And I mean the 3 prongs on each side, so 6 in total. So that's a screen accurate kind of look. Again, it's not using the chrome sticker anymore. It's a painted on chest. When we get down to even his shoulder, the inside the shoulder, the collar cavity, it's painted in orange, which the original toy it wasn't painted in at all. Again, to match that show accuracy of the inner collar, looks very nice. That's a lot of paint there that they're already starting with. The spoiler itself is using a nice yellow for the spoiler. What's weird was, as someone who's collected every Hot Rod version ever, the original 2018 reissue of Hot Rod with Walmart had an orangey kind of yellow spoiler. It was very weird, and it was never like that before. Every other Hot Rod spoiler and reissue that we've gotten from Japan, or even we had a reissue of Rodimus Major a while back in 2003, just had that normal yellow. This one had an orangey yellow, so it looks like it's kind of back to that traditional yellow that it had before with the original sculpt. So very nice to see that return to the proper yellow color scheme, because it is, in my opinion, more screen accurate and show accurate. When we get to the crotch plate, they added a little bit of paint deco there to make it match the animation model. It had that little swoop in there, so that's a nice little touch. They could have not painted it at all, but the fact that they made that extra effort is really cool. The exhausts, as well as his engine on the back of his head, and of course the engine in car mode, are not chrome anymore. They decided to opt for a light gray that almost borders on white, but it's probably a light gray. It's probably just the lighting of these photos. So no more chrome. It's all that kind of white, which again, going for how it looked. If you looked at the animation model and the animation cells, it had that look. There obviously wasn't a silvery kind of chrome look to it. So they kind of went with that. Looks really nice. Mentioning also the engine itself. The engine is the Target Master mold of Hot Rod, 1987 Target Master. So the engine itself has that larger peg hole that worked with Target Masters. So they went with that mold, which has been used, on and off frequently through different reissues throughout the years of Hot Rod. Japanese ones didn't have it, but then they did a Japanese reissue of Target Master Hot Rod with the book box reissue. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where they probably milled that mold from originally to begin with. I also love how they break down the lower half of his body with the boots and everything. How originally it was all sculpted one color and it was all kind of painted one color, and then they just used stickers to kind of break up the design. This time around, they actually painted it to make it look like his lower boots, and the upper part of the legs, they painted orange to make it look like a continuation of the legs. So it looks really, really nice. I love how they did that. That looks fantastic. And then when you get to his metal feet, probably the only thing that I have a complaint about, it looks like it's going to be metal feet. It's the original die-cast metal feet, but they didn't paint them in to match the boots, which is a shame because recent reissues of Hot Rod, they've actually made an effort to paint those metal feet, because even the original 1986 metal feet Hot Rod, he had a metal feet and he had a plastic feet. Plastic feet was black plastic, so it looked nice. The metal feet version used like a dark kind of gunmetal gray, which what it was sculpted in die cast. When they did reissues throughout the years, they started painting it black and it looked really nice. It's kind of a shame they didn't paint it here. Maybe it is painted in the end. These are just test shot photos. But as it stands right now, that's probably the only weakness about this. But I think it looks fantastic. And when you look at the alt mode, again, not having those stickers on the side of the alt mode really makes the car look super show accurate. I love how, just like the Starscream, taking this mold, seeing how much more we could push and make it look as show accurate as possible within the limitations of that old 1986 mold. The guns itself is two photon blasters, also share that same white gray that's used with the chrome, which would have been the chrome, of the exhaust and the engine. So nice little product there. And then here's what's interesting also, the price. So originally in 2018, this Hot Rod reissue, when it was in the Walmart stores, there was plenty of them. It went on clearance even at one point, packaged backwards, which was always an ire of many Mint in Box collectors. It was $29.84, so pretty much $30. Now it's going to be the same price as Starscream, $33.97. So I think that's where, Starscream's $1 less now, but Hot Rod's going to be a couple bucks more. So I think that's how they balance everything out. And maybe Hasbro wasn't being so nice. Maybe they're going to make their money back on Hot Rod with a couple bucks more. So in the end, I think if you buy the pair, you're actually spending more money than you were before. So it is what it is. Box art looks awesome inside the Autobot shuttle when they were escaping from planet Earth, when Cup was telling his little stories of, petro rabbits and everything. His bio is changed this time around. Well, it's still, it's the new style G1. And of course, what they did with Beast Wars, those new style tech specs and bio. So he's still a Cavalier. Actions speak louder than words is still the same, but the actual bio itself, that one sentence is different than what was originally in his original bio, talking about the darkest hour. And of course, like I said before, strength, intelligence, speed, and firepower are featured, nothing else. Nice art again by Marcelo. Looks great otherwise. I'm excited about this one. Again, more Hot Rod merch for the old Hot Rod shrine. Sign me up. I like it. The Starscream's cool too. If you haven't gotten a Starscream G1 reissue yet, I will say this as someone who has all of those. This is definitely the best painted, show-accurate version of them yet, without a doubt. And I like that the lean away from stickers and going more for tampos and making it look more show-accurate. I wonder if they're going to continue doing this. Could they say maybe take Optimus Prime and paint him up in those colors and get rid of all the chrome stickers and give him the blue eyes like they did in one reissue in the past? I think it was the 2004 New Year's reissue in Japan. But, there's a lot of ways they could go about it, and then take those molds that they already used for reissues and reissue them again and giving them a new paint, and then people could buy them all over again. This, a lot of those came out in 2018, 2017 when Walmart first got them. Now it's an opportunity for people who didn't get them could get a second opportunity, and probably, in my opinion, a way better color scheme in these closed boxes. I like what I see. I have my misgivings and my positives, but I still think it's pretty cool. Let me know what you think, and I wonder who they could probably do next. I think Optimus would be the wise one. From a business standpoint, take that Optimus and give it an update. Give it a Matrix of Leadership accessory that you could already plug into that chest, and have some fun.